You can correct me here. I think they used to call you the human hard drive as well, if I'm not wrong. Right?
Yeah, I think there was something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Hi, Johannes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Thank you very much, Prateek, for joining. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you, Johannes. Thank you for
so
having me.
so
Nice to
cool.
see you finally.
Yeah, I was wondering, did we meet each other at the competition? I think we
Uh,
did. No,
no, no, no.
we
We
didn't.
haven't met before, but I think we've exchanged a few conversations on Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, I
But I
think
guess
just the
this is
conversations.
our
But
first meeting in person.
okay, so this is our first meeting in person somehow. Yeah, thank you very much for joining, and
You're
I
welcome.
will introduce you to the audience a bit here in a second. But first of all, I want to show a short video here for the audience, and this is just your. I think you did that on, or it was on Facebook.
Congratulations and what a trophy that is. Let's clap for this man. And a check of 50,000 rupees. That is a lot of money.
I think yes, you're talking about the recent Indian Memory Championship.
Yeah, I was talking about the Indian
The
Championship,
trophy
and
is beautiful and huge, yes.
it's a massive one. So congrats on getting
Thank you.
that. And yeah, so you won the Indian Memory Championship for the 10th time, if I'm not mistaken.
No, for the 12th time.
For the 12th time, right? Um, how do you motivate yourself doing that for
Yeah.
the 12th time?
Yeah, I think there's no, I think, formula for it. I guess I simply like training a lot. It's
Mm-hmm.
always wonderful to train different disciplines, to always challenge yourself. And plus, when you see other athletes also, like for example, you, Simon, and all the other athletes who are doing this for like many years now. So when you see other athletes also in the community, and obviously practicing in itself is something that I really like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think motivation, there's no need for the motivation actually. So
Okay, cool.
I think it is a wonderful hobby also. To whenever you're free, you can train one discipline and challenge yourself. So I think that is how I kept doing it, and I made sure that I keep it sustainable because even if I can take out, let's say, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes maybe half an hour or more than an hour. So I think it is quite sustainable also, and it's like playing a video game, where you are always trying to cross the next level. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that challenge in itself keeps the entire process sustainable. So I think that's the only, I guess, secret, if you want to call it.
The motivation you still have is okay. And I before I was today invited you, I just saw the podcast, the craft of memory with Ronald Johnson.
Yes, yes.
I listened to that, and it came out just a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, very nice. I can get some infos already, and I watched also your TEDx talk. And yeah, just to introduce you a bit, so Prateek Yadav from India, 12 times Indian champion, world record holder, TEDx speaker, and what else?
I think first and only international grandmaster of memory from India, I guess, and Asia Memory Champion in 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah. And also I took part in a Russian TV show as well in
right.
2018. Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about. I want to talk about that as well. So, one thing what I on the craft of memory, you did talk about a lot about techniques and specific approaches for retrieving and for reviewing and stuff like that, which is very interesting. But I also want to know something which you mentioned in the TEDx talk. You mentioned that when you were younger, you were a kid or a young adult, I don't know, you were more like an introverted person. And then how is it the case that memory sports getting into that changed that a bit? And if yes, how? And is it also like a confidence thing? So can you
Mhm.
maybe describe yourself a bit more? What do you mean by you have been an introverted person?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think when I was probably in school or maybe in the initial days of college, I can't say exactly that I was introvert, but yes, I did not really like going out much, something like that. But I think memory sports definitely created, or you can say, created a huge impact on me. So let me give you an example. Before entering into the memory sport, I used to get worried while coming on stage, to deliver a speech. So, but after getting into memory sports and after training and winning multiple championships, I got the confidence, and then I got into public speaking as well. So I felt when you're training for memory sports, you're kind of challenging yourself, and that definitely it's hard to describe actually how it created an impact. But I think obviously when you win championship, when you see that your hard work is giving you fruits, it is giving you a certain result. It creates confidence. So yeah, that is how it all I can describe as of now.
Okay, so have you been a good student at school already, or yeah, good student or
Yeah, I mean,
average?
I can say that I was okay. I
Oh,
mean, I
you
was
were
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So and this memory sports, yeah, the
Mm.
sport gave you the opportunity to not just prove yourself and get the fruits of your hard work, but also connect you to more people, I guess. So
Correct.
you is it that you have been forced to go out and talk to people because you want to go to a memory competition? Was that part of the story behind how to get out of yourself? If you
Mm.
know what I mean, is it part of that?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, you can say that because right from the beginning, I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to explore something, different. And when I came across memory sport, I'll tell you my experience. So for the first time, when I came across this World Memory Statistics website, I came across the German Memory Championship, and I saw your scores and Simon's scores, and I was completely blown away by the idea of having memory as a sport, right? So then I started exploring more about it. Then I saw that okay, there were 10 disciplines, and somebody scoring good in spoken numbers. Then there are speed cards and all. So it was quite fascinating for me. And then I started searching for the about the Indian Memory Championships. And then at that point of time, you, Ben Pridmore, Simon, you all were an inspiration for me. And especially if I talk about this 2010 World Memory Championship, if you remember the documentary, right, where you and Wang Fang were in the limelight, isn't it?
Yeah, I know that.
So I watched it during the early days of my memory sports career. I watched it a lot of times, and it every time I watched it, it gave me a new perspective about memory sports, how it exactly looks like. I also saw your interaction as well when you were, I think you asked Wang Feng about how many numbers did he memorize in 1 hour, isn't
Yeah.
it? And in that video also he kind of explained his system, and you also explained your system in historic dates. So that fascinated me, and I always wanted to interact with then all the memory athletes, wanted to get in touch with all of them. So I absolutely, as you correctly mentioned, that I always thought that this is something if I push, I can get out of my comfort zone. And obviously it's always a new learning experience, isn't it? To always learn. And I think I also messaged you once when you broke the spoken numbers world record. I guess you did, I think 360 odd plus, I guess, in the Swedish championship, right?
Yeah.
When you did 10,000 plus. I think I texted you personally as well because I was completely blown away that, 360 can also be achieved in spoken numbers. So, yes, absolutely. It was always fascinating to see if you challenge yourself, you can come out of your comfort zone, you can explore new limits as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's all as of now I can recall.
And yeah, it seems like that memory sports really became a passion for you, and not just a passion, but you also mentioned like an obsession, training every day. And if you can't train a day or you didn't train a day, you can't sleep at night because you didn't train. Is it true?
Yeah, it used to happen during the early days, I guess, when I was completely new to the memory sport, maybe I think in the first 2, 3 championships or so. But once you kind of build a base, once you kind of build a foundation, then then you start to feel like, okay, now I can even skip a few days as well. You also sometimes become lazy. It happens with me also now. But that was about the initial days when I explored this sport. And you know I always wanted to kind of replicate the great scores. So at that point of time, it was kind of an obsession that yes, I have to push myself also, and break new records. So yes, in the initial days, that was the case because I always felt, especially when I was in the college, that I need to do at least one attempt of speed cards. And if I'm not able to do anything in a day, then I should not call myself a memory athlete, because an athlete needs to be disciplined. If you, I mean, obviously you cannot train 8 hours every day, but do something at least for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So that used to be my motto back then. Even now, also I feel the same. But as you probably grow, you start to feel like, okay, now I can probably skip a few days and maybe train later. But yes, in the early days, it was definitely the case.
Very interesting, and this is something very good advice, I guess, to at least have some kind of training every day, even if you don't have so much time. But if you just do something every day, it's better than doing just a lot once a day in a month. It's better to have a regular plan here, and yeah, I think this is kind of what you call mindset. Also, you are a memory athlete, and you do your training, you have your discipline. And what I also liked about your mindset explanation was, I'm a memory athlete. I don't have gaps.
Yes.
So it's very cool because, of course, you have gaps here and there sometimes, but but your mindset is different. Can you maybe talk a bit about that a bit more? How
Yes,
to,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think I spoke about this thing in detail in that podcast with Ronald
Mm-hmm.
Johnson. So yes, I think we had a discussion about how to figure out your gaps,
Mm-hmm.
especially during the recall. And also, a lot of people worry a lot while memorizing, or I might forget something, or like that, or maybe they get worried too much about their scores, about their improvement. Sometimes they get into their comparison mode also. When they feel that some new athlete has been improving quite fast, and they start comparing their scores, that maybe they are not improving that fast. So I was talking about that mindset, that first of all, we need to focus on the controllables, what we can control. I can only control my training schedule. I can, yes, speak to other athletes. I can discuss. I can ask them what their strategy is about a particular discipline, and that is the only thing I can do. And obviously, I can train. I can increase my training hours. I can put some more time into thinking more creatively about my system, and about evaluating what am I doing right or wrong. So same cases with the gaps also. That when we are memorizing, we should not think about the gaps initially. So let's say in speed numbers, if I'm attempting 500 digits, I should be confident enough that I've been training so hard, and I should get all 500 correct. There is no point in, see, if out of 10 rows, if I'm already getting 8 rows correct, so that means I can get 10 rows also correct. So I will train myself in such a way that I will not have any gaps. And even in case if I encounter any gap, I would be able to kind of dig it out. So we need to have that confidence, because see, if we are considering ourselves as memory champions and memory athletes, we should be able to kind of remember everything with 100% accuracy. So I think they also gave you this nickname in the early days. I might be wrong. You can correct me here. I think they used to call you the human hard drive as well, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, I think there was something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So if they are giving such names to us, so that means we need to do justice with that, and make sure that whenever we are memorizing, we need to be 100% sure about it. That okay, I will
Mm-hmm.
figure out everything. I think that mindset kind of helps a lot. But in the early days, people think about gaps too much. That
Mm-hmm.
okay, if I encounter, how am I going to do it? Okay, shall I go back and see all my images? So why we are wasting so much energy in thinking about it? Obviously, that is also part of strategy, because it's not practical to get all the digits correct every time. But at least we can think about that mindset, that there won't be any necessity of going back to the images, since I will get all the digits correct. So I think such kind of mindset. Similarly with nervousness also, that a lot of people ask that they're able to perform really well while practicing, but when it comes to the competitions, maybe out of nervousness or distraction, they're not able to replicate their training scores. So
Mm-hmm.
how to control that nervousness? So I think I gave the same advice there as well, that we should be there to kind of enjoy the nervousness as well. We need to embrace that nervousness too, rather than pushing those thoughts away, because we need to think that okay, I am getting an opportunity to at least perform under pressure. Not too many people get that opportunity. So I think just a little shift in the mindset can actually do wonders.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I feel. But obviously, sometimes I also get nervous. Everybody gets nervous, but at least we can have that mindset. That's what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
But and how does it concretely look like? So let's say you go to a competition and you are maybe someone who is not so experienced in the sport. You have to go for speed numbers next, and there is this mindset. But do you do something specific before a discipline starts, like having a little meditation, or what do you do? Are you saying to yourself, "I'm a memory athlete"? What is it exactly what you do?
You know what happened? I remember my first ever memory championship. So I think there was this event, 5 minute words, random words, and I was very confident about everything. That okay, I'm competing for the first time. I think I've done enough training and I should be able to do it. But I was extremely nervous when I went into that hall, and so when this event started, random words. So I think initially 5-10 seconds, I felt like that, that burst of nervousness. And then for a moment I thought that it's easier to to practice at home, but it's very difficult to do it in practice, and that is the reason why other athletes maybe are not getting, or they're not scoring that much. So because they also experience that nervousness. But then all of a sudden I told myself that no, let's not think about it, and let's repeat what I do in practice. So my focus was on repeating the strategy that I used to follow in the practice sessions, and I followed that. So I think I don't really, I mean, this is something that I used to do in the early days, but now what I do is, obviously you're under a lot of pressure because people expect you to do good every time. So what I do is I just think about the strategy, that what I'm going to do. So I just don't try to do anything differently. I just think about replicating the strategy that I perform at home. And I think that what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, one event, it might get wrong. You can make mistakes, and you are allowed to make mistakes. So there's nothing different in that. And that's the only thing I kind of think. And I try to enjoy the event. I try to implement my strategy. I try to think that whether can I do it or not. So that's the only thing, because I feel that there's nothing to lose. Just try and enjoy and see how it goes.
Nice, yeah. So it's really. I think that's something I also experience. That sometimes if you get nervous, just think differently in this second. Just think about, no, it's fun. I'm here. I'm sitting here. I'm right now. I'm right here. I'm right in the right place. I'm doing what I love to do. And now I just imagine that I'm at home practicing. It's the same. So I think, yeah, just putting yourself into that mindset will give you a boost maybe already.